Okay, my name's Cameron Randall. I'm here. I want to do a quick review on the Indie Systems Bulldog shoulder rig package, and I was super excited to get this because it was deemed very cost effective, very affordable for what I was looking for. I was looking for a nice small rig that would accommodate, where is it? 70, 5D, Panasonic, GH2, all the smaller kind of the DSLR style cameras that people are starting to use nowadays, or using nowadays. So anyway, I looked all around. These guys seemed like they had the most complete package that was USA, a U.S. company. I don't know exactly where they're manufactured, but their site had all kinds of good, materials as far as the way they presented it. And I got to be honest, their shipping was pretty quick. It was $50 shipping, which was kind of annoying. They had no other option besides just their FedEx $50. But when it came in the mail, I pulled it out and to put it together, and I was immediately kind of disappointed in the way it all came together. A lot of the things, the very first off, before I actually started getting into the functionality of the unit, was a couple of the things like the mat box and camera mount and whatnot. On the rails, you need an Allen wrench to secure them. So there's no pulling that mat box off quickly if you're in the middle of a shoot to do some kind of lens maintenance or something like that. You have to have your Allen key there and do it from that. The other thing I noticed right off is when I put on kind of our handle is that I don't know if it's just the machining was off or something, but the screw, it's only one contact point for the screw, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. The weight's not a big deal, but I could never get it tight enough. Whenever I would tighten it and I would grab the handle, it would start to twist on its own. So that's as tight as I can get it to go, and it still's got a little bit of play in it, which is really annoying to me. The mat box overall has all the features that you'd want. On the cheaper mat boxes, the eyebrows and the things like that, they never really stay where they're supposed to. And in this one, of course, you put the French flag on the eyebrow and it immediately starts to fall down. You can tighten it as much as you want. It still starts to fall down after any kind of contact with anything by accident, which is a pain. One of the other reasons why I bought this mat box is because it is a swing-away mat box. And I do understand, you guys, I want to make sure that you understand the price point is such that I'm not looking for this to be, like an airy setup or anything like that, but at the same time, it's just got to last longer than a week, So the mat box does have a swing away, has a little magnetic catch, which is kind of a clever idea, except for the fact that the only other contact point that this mat box has is one screw on this end right here. And when I got it, it wouldn't swing away all the way. It would go about to here and get stuck. And that's because it was on one too many threads tight on this one screw. So I had to unscrew it one rotation, which makes it resting off of its supports just a little bit. So, there's the mat box, kind of how it's attached, besides the one magnet, which is kind of annoying. Other than that, the mat box seems pretty cool. The filters all rotate and everything like that. I have no problem with that, but I wish they'd had some other solution for that. The carbon fiber rods are great. I have no problem with that. But once again, it comes down to kind of the attention to detail, and not even detail, just mere functionality. The machining of things and the tolerances, I think, are off. A lot of these quick release screws here, I've cranked them as hard as I could to get the compression on these pieces, on these rods, so that I have some stability. And even compressed all the way down, I still can just wiggle these handles, which is kind of annoying. On their website, they advertise that this unit can be broken down from the full-on shoulder mount to a smaller mount. This actually doesn't go on the back here, which has this little thing. So you kind of go down to the smaller sled, which I'm not going to do because it takes a few minutes because you have to get the Allen key out, which is annoying. They do have this kind of cool, nifty ball thing so that you can hook it onto the smaller set of rails. You can put this where it needs to do so you have another point of contact with the camera as you do things. That's a clever idea, but once again, to convert to that setup, you have to take the camera off, you take the mat box off, you have to take the handle off. I guess you wouldn't have to, but to do that, you'd have to take this handle off, and to take the handle off, you have to take the shoulder mount off, and then you'd have to unscrew this guy all the way till it was open enough that you could slide it off of the carbon fiber rails instead of just sliding it, if it was a quick release type of a functionality. So I think kind of an oversight there. Again, looking at the price, that's something that I can overlook, looking at how cost effective it was. But kind of the kicker for me, it came down to the follow focus. Now I have a couple different versions of follow focuses. I've got a Red Rock and some other kind of no-name ones that I've had in the past for different camera rigs I've set up. But this one, as soon as you put it comes kind of broken down, you put it together. The problem is both of these shafts on the follow focus, coming for the gear and for the handle, are solid just shafts, and they have a little worm gear that you, or a little Allen gear, screw that you push in that puts pressure on that shaft. The problem is the shaft, you can crank as tight as you can on this thing, at least this, you can crank it as tight as you can on it, and it slips. So as soon as you put any pressure on this gear, you put it onto the lens, you get any kind of tension, and it slips, and it doesn't end up turning the focus ring on the lens, which is obviously totally ineffective. So disappointed kind of in all aspects of that. Just the overall impressions is it was a good idea. I think the machining, they need to take more detail into actually getting the tolerances correct, so when you actually tighten some of these pressure plates, that they will tighten a little bit further down on the rods or the other things that it's supposed to be connected to, so that it actually functions like it's supposed to. The matte box, I would love to have something like this, but I always feel like it's going to snap off every 2 seconds. The follow focus, once again, just a little more attention to detail of functionalities. How is this going to, if that metal shaft was keyed or ground down a little bit, so you had a flat surface that the screw could then put some pressure on, and not just this round surface that has nothing to grip. Lastly, is I called them up and I said, "Here's the problem. I'm disappointed in your product. What's your return policy?" And on their site, I think they said I have a return policy of a 15% restocking fee if you're dissatisfied. And the guy, he didn't actually have any kind of conversation with me. He just said, "Oh, just send it back." I didn't have any conversation. I didn't tell him what was. I wanted to kind of communicate what my thinking was, and it was did I get just a defective product? Did I get a defective individual piece? And he just kind of told me, "Oh, send it back. It's not for you. If you don't want it, don't send it back." So I'm really hoping that I just caught him on a bad day, and their other products, maybe this is just a fluke, but at the same time, I'm going to send it back. He said he'd refund my money 100%. I'm hoping that means shipping too, but I doubt it. That's not usually the case. So anyway, high hopes for the Indie Systems shoulder mount. This is the particular package is the Bulldog package, but comes down to it, extremely disappointed in the functionality and the performance. It looks nice. It's not too heavy. I was looking for a rig that wasn't ginormous, that wouldn't dwarf the smaller cameras. Everything seems like it should work, but doesn't. So I'm really hoping that Indie Systems sees this and isn't, ticked off by it, but takes it as some feedback. Because honestly, I haven't found many reviews on their products online. I've been watching their company for a long time. I never quite bought anything till now. And anyway, I hope that this is a little bit of a wake-up call, and that they can change a few things and then succeed in making products, upgrading this product maybe with a couple of the things, the feedback points that I brought up. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're into purchasing one of these things, I hope that this has helped you. Like I said, I don't want to make anybody's company look bad, but at the same time, I feel like between a $700 and a $900 product should probably be in working condition when it gets to you, or at least the functionality of it is that it should be functioning up to the specifications. So anyway, thanks for watching, and talk later.